This is the first of the brand new add-ons for Train Sim World 6, and it brings in another part of the West Coast Main Line. We've got London Euston to that place. We've got Preston to Carlisle, as set in the 80s, and now I think we've got another bit as well, haven't we? And now we have got Birmingham to Crewe represented. Drive the backbone of Britain, experience the power and the pace of modern electric traction on the West Coast Main Line to Birmingham and Crewe. Weave through a mix of busy city stations, rural landscapes, and historic junctions as you tackle steep gradients, high-speed running, and frequent stopping patterns. From the heart of the Midlands to the gateway to the northwest, this classic main line is yours to master in Train Sim World. And I believe this was made by All Aboard Studios. Something that I quite like with Train Sim World is that they basically decided, hey, these studios that were making like mod content for Train Simulator Classic, how about we just get you to make proper content for us now, officially? And they're like, yeah, all right. So All Aboard Studios, I believe this is their very first route for Train Sim World, which is really cool. And we also got some Radiohead tickets, then realised it was the same. Oh, no. Basically, the original Wimbledon is stolen, moved to Milton Keynes, US franchise style. Yes, there you go. There's the summary. We love AFC Wimbledon, and we hate Milton Keynes. Yes. Not the city of Milton Keynes. I mean, what is there in Milton Keynes? There's some roundabouts. There's some roundabouts and some shops, and that's it. And that's it. But yes, this we're going to get a chance to have a play with today. And I thought, well, return with the tea and trains. Why not? Oh, another Bezos Prime has been deployed, and it's by the Chris-ish, which is lovely. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. Blimey. This is more viewers than I was expected to have on my return. Found that down the back of the sofa. I think Stephen Bailey's had my Bezos Prime sub for about the last 18 months, pretty much. He's excellent as well. He'll be done by the time we're finished, I think. But yes, no, he's great. Fantastic for the sim racing side, which I will be bringing back as well. I forgot they got city status. Yeah. Why? How? I think we talked about that at one point, didn't we? How, like, he's already done for... he's done. He's done. Playing with his massive new hard shaft on stream. Yes, I did say that. So, here we go. This is our selection of... I like viewing timetable services on most of these routes. So, timetable, scenarios, training modules, and free roam. I like doing timetable, just picking a train and then dipping in. Now, you can see down here, the Class 87 here, that was included as standard with the Preston to Carlisle route. And the Class 86 was added afterwards, which is fantastic because I like this and I love this. I've really gotten into these electric locos. These are vintage electric locos from when the West Coast Main Line was first electrified in the 1960s, which is incredible. When a lot of other mainline railways were supposed to be electrified as well, but then, you know, money happened or governments decided to not spend any money. So like, it's a bit spenny. How about we not do that? 50 years later. Why is our infrastructure so terrible and so run down? How's that happened? We've not spent more than £1.75 and a box of peanuts on it since 1963. Pretty much. But yes, these were the 86 came first, one of the very, very first British Rail electric locomotives. The 87 was an evolution of that. Funnily enough, the same weekend I went up for the model train show, there was a goddamn beaching. Yes. Damn it, beaching. That's an unofficial slogan of another station in a while. Yeah, there was a rail tour running out of Euston up to, I think it was Carlisle, and then it was taken over by Steam Loco. And then, but from the run from London to Carlisle and back, that part was handled by one of these, Class 86. So we're probably going to drive one of those later. I think it's got a rail tour service because it's weird. The Preston to Carlisle add-on route, that's set in the 1980s. So this stuff is the standard. But Birmingham to Crewe, this route is set modern day. So this is heritage stuff. So they've got IC1. Yes, there we go, rail tour. So there's that. China Weir Metro, a perfect example of that. They've only just got rid of the original 1980s trains. See, I wanted to go up there and check out the old trains before they went. They went a lot faster than I thought they would. And the new ones keep getting pulled from service for various reasons. That sounds very similar to what happened with Merseyrail. Because, spoiler alert, one of the Another Station on the Mile episodes I'll have for you very soon, hopefully, is one that I've filmed multiple times in the last few years. There are still old ones running if you fancy a visit. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to come up. Because I first did my... I filmed a Merseyrail video back in 2022, and then by 2024, they'd introduced brand new trains. So I was like... And there was a new station and all that stuff. So... When I went back in 2024, so I went back last year, around this time last year, actually. It was almost exactly this time last year. I went back up and did the whole thing again with what I thought was all the brand new trains, except there were still some teething problems with some of them. So some of the old units from the 1970s were still being kept around and pressed into service, which was great. So I got a ride on one of those one more time in service, and I also went on the Farewell Rail Tour. Well, there was the Class 507 and 508 units. So yeah, that was quite funky, but yeah, similar situation, I guess. Went on a couple when I was up there from my ferry to Netherlands, I suppose that is. I assume that is. Ashington Line has had 750,000 passengers since it opened last December. They were expecting 250k in the first year. They've already had to make the trains bigger. Who'd have thought? You invest in infrastructure and people use it. I know, right? Like, it's quite funny. It bugs me a little bit when you see these stories about, like, railway lines being like, oh, we're opening a new railway line and it's amazing. And aren't we great? We're fantastic. We're investing in infrastructure. That railway line was already open and existed, and it was even a passenger railway, and then it got closed in, guess when, the 1960s by, guess who, Dr. Beeching. So it's always been there. You just shut the stations decades past. And I remember seeing, because I wanted to go up there and film when it opened. I didn't in the end. I stayed home. I just didn't have the spoons for it. And I got a bit of FOMO about it. But then I saw the actual new stations. I'm like, oh, they're about as low effort as it's possible to be. It's just a platform and like a bus shelter, if you're lucky. And a bike rack. Good. Nice and comfy on a cold, rainy day like today, actually. But... it's nice to hear that people are at least still using it. So it's clearly got, use for people. Clearly there's a lot of people. They're 100% low effort. They're platforms and car park. Yeah, that's kind of it, really. But it is good that people are using it, which is nice. You might have guessed I used that line. It's the only one I know about. Well, there you go. You're the proof. You're the proof that there was demand for it. The new ones look super snazzy, though. What, the new Tyne and Wear Metros? I assume is what you mean. So anyway, back to these trains over here. What we're going to start with is we're going to start with one of these. Class 350 units. Might have to pop up your way one day, Chris. It's been fun. Northeastern meetup. Northeastern Massive. Obviously, there's a Pendolino here. The stalwart of the West Coast Main Line for at least 20 years, maybe more now. And there's all sorts of other stuff you can run here. But yeah, we're going to start with the main new loco or train for this route, which is new variants of the Class 350. There's one here which is specifically British Transport Police liveried. Class 350. I think one of these was in the game already. Let me have a look at WC. Yeah, it's on the art for it's on the key art for the game for the route anyway. So the 350/1 was there already. But I think, I wonder if this was, because when they did the Riviera line, they also redid the Sprinter that was already in the game, the Class 150/2 that was already in the game. So I don't know if this is a similar scenario. But anyway, we'll start off with this. The main kind of... what's the... loaded or not? Do I want people on my train or not? Also, hello, by the way, Mother Slug. Bright Line is new. Future is looking bright for them as the line will go from Orlando to Vegas, supposedly only taking 2 hours, as unit is said to do 280... 280? Blimey. Blimey hell, that's rapid. Chris and I have known each other for going on 20... Wow, really? No way. I mean, I was shocked enough. I knew you, Izzy, already, and then I first turned up in Colo streams, and you're a mod over there. You just sort of exist and know everyone. It's amazing. The Stadler Metro trains, the Merseyrail ones have a fully European vehicle number on the side, which is unusual in the UK. Same goes for the newer Northern trains. Never knew that. Today I learned. best finish this as well, because it's starting to get a little lukewarm. We don't want that. And approximately an hour after I hit start stream, which is good timing for me, we're going to drive a train. Shall we? So we've got Stafford to Birmingham. Let's do the full run, shall we? Wolverhampton to Walsall. Birmingham New Street to Crewe. Oh, Birmingham New Street to Stafford, apparently. These are all to Stafford, weirdly. Trying to find one that's just Crewe to Birmingham. This is pre-release as well, so it's very possible that there's typos and stuff in it as well. So let's try this run. No, let's... When was it? As a lot of the American content is massively off. Oh, really? Well, I wouldn't know about the American stuff. I wouldn't know. The British stuff or the UK stuff is pretty good, from my experience. I assume that's because, you know, based in Britain here, it's a British-based, you know, studio. Yeah, let's try this route, shall we? This is new as well, since the last Dovetailer based in the UK. Yeah, based down in Chatham, not far from me. Yeah, this is new. I haven't actually tried this yet. I will. Conductor mode. You could play as the conductor. I don't know how realistic it is, whether you have to deal with drunk yobs on Southeast. If you select a 10 o'clock Southeastern service on a Friday night, you deal with drunk yobs. But we'll stick with driver. And hello, speaking of Americans and trains, there's another ad break starting. No, we're not doing this. Sod off. Sod off immediately. JBS319's out here, who was recently just over here visiting and doing some bear trainage. Doing some big trainage. Which was really cool. Really cool to catch up. So... Oh my word! Can you hear that? Can you guys hear that background noise? Actually, is any game audio coming through at all? Okay, it is good. Maybe that's what they meant by loaded. Yeah, that's wild. I guess that's what they meant by loaded. So the train is full, and I can hear passengers talking. That's neat. Now, one of the new things they introduced for Train Sim World 6 was train announcements. So you actually get this is the 11:20 service to somewhere, that sort of thing going on, which is nice. I believe I need to turn that on before it lets me open the doors. Yes, there we go. Put the headlights on. It's also neat because this is the old London Midland franchise livery, which is what I remember the most, and a lot of the trains in real life are still in this livery. I think it's quite funky with the kind of bright green. So I'm hearing the game. Do let me know if the sound's coming through, by the way. I can hear it in my ears just fine. And when I do stuff like open and close the windows, I wonder if they've added the inevitable customer blocking the internal cab door with luggage or bike. Well, hang on, let's check. No, they've been well behaved. Hold on, thank you. Sit down. There we go. We'll open a window. Because unlike IRL today, in the UK, it looks rather pleasant in-game. So that's nice. Lock the doors. I can do that. I don't open that door.
Welcome aboard this London North Western Railway service to Crewe. We'll be calling at Smethwick Galton Bridge, Wolverhampton, Stafford, Stone, Stoke-on-Trent, Kitsgrove, Alsager, and Crewe. Okay,
so we are apparently going to Crewe. I wonder if that was a typo in the menu. Game sound is coming through. Excellent.
Familiarize yourself with the safety notices displayed throughout the train.
It's going to be like when I try and vlog in real life at stations, constantly being cut off by announcements. I didn't realise this. Right, okay.
See something that doesn't look right.
Ah, there it is.
Staff, or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it? Say it. Sorted.
You got that? Anyway, right. Let's do this. Break off and power. And also on. There we go. Getting massive stutters on just about every stream I'm watching, so I don't know if it's Twitch or me. I feel like it's Twitch. Unless anyone in the chat's noticed anything, I've not seen any drop frames here, and things look okay here. Game sound is coming through. It's good to know. Are we moving or? You gonna move? Ryan, do you want to? Do you want to? You want to do something? Get me to do station announcement. I will petition for that to happen. Right. Okay, so I can't. Okay, so that. Hang on. Right, max break. Let's just turn everything off and on again. Generally works. Right. Okay. Now, safety system isolated appears to be lit. I don't know if that should be. I don't think it should be. Right. Now let me unlock. When he said undo the doors, let me unlock the doors. Right. Oh, hang on. Right, pantograph's up. That's fine. Why will you not go? Please. Now we're also in the situation, but because this is new, like isolated by default, that light is probably due to that. Shouldn't cause this issue. No, that's what I'm thinking as well. It doesn't. Marker only cab equipment lights. Right. Well, I'm just going to check something else as well, because something else that has been added in the game is. Okay, well, don't want train faults. So we're just going to turn that off anyway. I'm not saying this isn't because, well, it shouldn't be an error. I'm also wondering, because this is, you know, brand new. Have you been back to check on our orange friend at the pub? Not yet. Not yet. But it looks fine to me. Hang on. You know what? You know what? I think what we're going to do, just to make sure we got everything working right. I sometimes have to do this. Normally, sometimes trains work, but obviously, also, sometimes they have fiddly little things that... Sometimes in timetable mode, there's certain things that aren't set that should be when you drop in. So, what we'll do... Training modules. Class 350 introduction. Class 350 safety systems. Feel like let's do that. Add a couple 2 units together. Why not? So yes, you know what? Let's go back to school. And also... Okay. We may as well go through these little module bits just to see... Just to make sure that it is me getting something wrong. And we'll know if it's me, which it probably is, or the game getting something wrong. But like I say, sometimes, if it's brand new content, sometimes certain trains can be a little bit glitchy. Or a little bit just no. A little bit no. It's like, no, I'd rather not work today. Question and thought giving UK rail lines are set in stone with little to no room to expand the rail lines in different areas. Anything? Maybe the downfall of rail service there, given... I don't know, honestly. That's quite a big question, really. I don't... do you mean, like, in terms of the gauge? Like, there's plenty of room to expand... Well, there's plenty of room to build more track. I mean, there used to be a hell of a lot more lines and routes in the UK anyway. Walk to the train. Wants me to go over here. Walk to the class 350/1 on road 7. Train. And we're going to walk to the train. Train. We've got an info thing. I think that's supposed to be a voice playing, but it's not. 2004 and 2005 by Siemens in Germany. The class 5350/1 units are unique in that they can run on 25 kilovolt AC overhead electric wires through their pantograph and on 750 volt DC third rail through their shoes. Shoe gear was used in 2009 when they were released to Southern to operate services between Croydon and that place. The units are depicted in the older London Midland livery. You see? See? I think that's identified what the problem was. They're built by Siemens. I wish I could run off power through my shoes. I know, right? Oh, we're not supposed to get in this one. Water glass 352. Okay, hang on. Right. 352. Aha. Replace the other class 221s from 1989. Class 352s don't have third rail shoes and have 3 plus 2 increase their plastic capacity compared to 2 plus 2 on the class. I've run out of text. And now we've got another one over here. It's just showing you what they look like. Class 350/3 units were built in 2014 to provide more capacity. They're similar to the class with the 2 plus 2 seating arrangement, where an alternative LNWR livery with green stripes on the body side. There you go. Oh, I never noticed that. Oh, today I learned something else. Right, so I've looked at the trains. How about just walk down road 1 to the rear unit and set up? Where's that? I assume this is... Right, okay, so this is road 1. Not road 1. Go for a wander down here. We're going to get in this one. And then presumably we're going to couple them up. So, open the right-hand cab door. I think I can do that. Climb up the ladder. I know it's been a while, but I don't remember how to do that. Sit in the driver's seat. I can do that. Turn on the battery. Okay. Battery on. Press. Insert the master key. On. The reverser in neutral. Done. Headlights onto the marker position. Done that. Select AC power. Aha. Raise the pantograph. Up. Reverser in forward. See, this might be where I was going wrong before. Just the way you do these things. The train is ready to move. Pull forward and couple to the unit in front of you. I can do that, I think. Accelerate the train to 3 miles an hour. Oh, it's moving. We've got a moving train. And it's making the distinctive beep, 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 beep noise that they do when they the traction motors make when they move away. Couple to formation, 4 vehicles. Trundling, trundling, trundling. Trundling. No, okay, I've stopped. Move. Slightly. Move, just... And... Oh. On. Where's the front? There we go. And... Hey, that should be it. Oh, is that close enough? Is not close enough. Okay. I don't think you can move any slower. No, I can't. Please! I can't get... Well, I can get... I can literally get closer. It's got to be it now. Come on. They're literally touching. I think you need to drive into it. I think I probably do. Right. There we go. Oh, we're moving. Right. 2 units coupled. Follow the instructions for shutting down this cab and opening the interconnecting doors between the units. Okay, I can do that. And if you tell me what they are... Aha! Turn off the headlights. BBC to max brake. Reverser off. Master key out. Open the vestibule doors. Open. Open. Gotta press a button somewhere. Aha! You know, nose door. Who's Max and why do we need to set his brake? I don't know. The Formula 1 joke in there somewhere, I'm sure. Vestibule door on the second unit. Then cab door on the second unit. Yeah, you see. Sit in the driver's seat in the front of the train. Let's go for a jog down the train. Running! Don't run on the train, folks. Toilets all working by the looks of it. I said this before at the top of the stream. I will listen back to this, by the way, and see what I think of the mic quality. Let me know what you reckon on it. Like I say, I wonder if it's a little too echoey. I've set up some filters and that, like noise gate and stuff like that, to hopefully help. Why does it feel like you're in the Starship Enterprise? I don't know. Turn on the battery. You can do that. Insert the master key. Can do that. Reverse in neutral. Can do that. Headlights. Day position. Yes, I can do that. Select AC mode. I can do that. Antigraph up. I can do that. First to forward. Yep. You now depart for Crewe Station, arriving to platform 12. Stopping the station, following instructions for how to uncouple the two units. I think it's fine, in my deeply unqualified opinion. Well, as long as it sounds alright, then that's all that matters. Power position. Right. Managed to move the other unit. And we move this one. Moving. My heavily biased road user opinion. Oops. We're managing to speed in a depot. How have I managed that? There we go. Only 240 miles to Glasgow, apparently. If you were interested. Yeah, the main thing I'm concerned about is just the echo, really. That's it. So, up there. Huh. 86s and 87s on shared. What was that I was saying before about, oh, it's set in the modern day? Okay. It's a big heritage operation up there. I think it's officially the slowest speed that's ever been travelled. Ever. Like, while doing any sort of speed. I'm not speeding. How do they come across a cab missing an instrument, either a switch or button? What to do then?
Approaching. Please mind the gap when leaving the train and step onto the platform before removing heavy luggage and pushchairs. Whilst at the station, if you see something that doesn't look right, speak to our team or text the British Transport Police on 61016.
Well, it wasn't the full message, at least. I'm also trying to do the, what do they call it? The cool phone. The phone, or the fist distance between the mic. I'm trying to do that. Can I please go more than 3 miles an hour now? Please. I can feel facial hair. I can go 5 miles an hour. A whole 5 miles an hour, guys. Do. Not speeding. Oh, guys. The top speed is increased 3 times over. We can now do 15 miles an hour. As we try to pass the depot. I see? I wonder if that's modelling the rail tour that's in the timetable. Because that's a rake of intercity liveried coaches. There's an 86 there. And an 87 there. That's really interesting as well. I think those two locos are numbered as the ones that are preserved. 20! Oh my god. Yeah, very good. Bloody hell, this feels like we're going light years. Light speed. Right. Trundling into Crewe now. This is our first look at how Crewe looks in this game. Now, Crewe has already been in the game before, but it's the 1950s version because it was in the Spirit of Steam route, which is set in the 1950s. So this is current day Crewe. And funnily enough, I was on this platform on Greatest Gathering weekend because the day before they ran a rail tour, or the Branch Line Society ran a rail tour speeding in the pit lane. Ref! Don't give me a drive-through for that. Drive through the station penalty. The Branch Line Society ran a rail tour. It was a Class 57 and a Pendolino that was heading to the Greatest Gathering anyway. The 57 was dragging the Pendolino to the Greatest Gathering. They went, how about we make that stock move a rail tour? And they did, which is really cool. And it left from this platform. It's a bit easy to speed in 20-mile-an-hour zones, isn't it? Had a driving lesson on Saturday and kept nudging over it, yeah. I can't imagine what it's like in Wales at the moment.
Welcome aboard this service to
Follow the instructions to shut down the cupboard and uncouple the two units. Okay, I can do that.
If you
I
see
think.
something that doesn't look right, speak to our team or text the British Transport Police on 61016.
Sorry, what number was that? Turn off the headlights, yes. Doesn't UK operate Steam on these lines anymore, or is that just what most people think? Not in everyday service, no. But there are Steam rail tours, yes. Which are really cool. Excuse me. Reverser. Off. Close the internal cab doors. Ah, we've got to sprint down the train again, so... Yeah! Yeah! I'm running for the loo. Yeah! Yeah! Okay, you sane. Close the vestibule doors. Hang on, am I supposed to be on the other side of these? Hang on. Yep, and then those ones. Oh, those ones, right. In a nose door. Aha! Right, there we go. That's it, I'm calling HC. Insert the master key. On. Reverser in neutral. I think I know how to do this by now. Uncouple. Has it been uncoupled? Yes. Reverser to off. That was easy. Master key, yep. Walk to the marker on platform 12 to finish off with. Okay. Close Riders of the Storm by the doors. That's all for this tutorial. Excellent. Please continue to the second tutorial and learn about the safety systems on the Class 350. Do I do that one as well? Oh, I did something. One training module. Some more than that. Right. Now let's see if we can drive this thing now. Or whether we need to also do the tutorial on safety systems. Now, when we were setting it up, that was a short ride. I want my money back for that. Hang on. We'll get a proper length one in a minute. Achievement unlocked. Yeah, really is. So, to the trains. Choose the route. Birmingham-Crewe. Team table. 351, which is what we're doing. 351 normal. So, not loaded. It was the 1118 we were going to do, wasn't it? Driver, yep. Driver 3. Driver San Francisco. By the way, to point this out, the doctor says hi. The doctor says hello. She is my desk guardian. Coffee does nothing. I need a nap. That's a mood. It was lovely to see you, AJ. Have a great rest of the stream. Simon, I can't tell you how lovely it is to see you again as well. And everyone, of course. So, you go get yourself some rest, mate. Right. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay. So, what did we do before? Battery on. Master key on. Neutral. Daylight. And then... AC power. That's lit, yes. Oops. And then... pantograph up. And then... forward. Right, so that should be okay now. Oops. Then unlock the left side doors. Okay, so we still have nattering. We still have a full complement of nattering, chatty people on our train. So that's okay. Maybe the loaded stands for something else. Window. Open that. Get a bit of fresh air in. Well, fresh as it can be in Birmingham. It's funny because I swear I've driven a Class 250 in this game before, but it might just be this is the newer version of that for this route. Wait until 11:20. And we can do that. Well, it's only another 20 seconds, so what's 20 seconds between friends? Sip some water while that's happening. Right, okay. And 11:20. Load the... Or don't. Lock the doors. Do that. Okay.
London Northwestern Railway Service.
Yes, all this.
We'll be calling at Smethwick Galton Bridge, Wolverhampton, Stafford, Stone.
Okay. Well, the dial's gone up on the dash. We're moving!
And Crewe.
We're moving! I'm driving a train. It's actually happening. I'm driving a train.
With the safety notices displayed throughout the train.
Hey! And a horn. Lovely. I don't know if you can hear that sound, by the way. I'm telling you about. I believe that's traction motors. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Whoever said that electric vehicles are silent? Alright, 10 miles an hour, but soon to be 50. 15 miles an hour, but soon to be 50. You sure it's not a car? I'm quite a steep gradient out of the station as well. Oh, was that? We could do 50 miles an hour? Should we do 50 miles an hour? Yes, I think we should. I'm not silent, just superior. Yeah. 50. Whoops. I'm not sure if the light's supposed to be doing that in a tunnel. Maybe that's supposed to be the light off of our own... Now, I just realised. Cab light's not on. Or any instrument lights. Slight problem. Right, so our first stop is Smethwick Galton Bridge, which is one of my favourite train station names in the entire country. Because it's one of those stations, it's one of those place names that if you're not British, you are convinced it's made up. And I don't blame you. You are convinced it's fake or was out of an Agatha Christie novel. Like, oh, what's the next stop after that? Northanger Abbey. But no, it is real. Tail lights. We can go a bit faster, actually, but I want to have equipment lights. That'll do. We can at least see what we're doing next time we go in a tunnel. I thought for a second that was the outside and it was snowy. Well, I do like doing a winter or like a Christmas gala stream. Names that are fictional but 100% sound like they should be a real place. Yeah, conversely, you get it going the other way. Smethwick Galton Bridge is the first. It's a real place, but you'll have a hard time convincing people that it is real because it sounds fake. Right. Come on. We can do 65 miles an hour now. Come on, we're flying along. Well, we will be. Inside the canal. And like I said, unlike the weather outside my house IRL today, it's actually rather nice and pleasant. Rather nice and sunny. I like that. My CPU probably likes that as well because it's less taxing. Oops. No brakes. No brakes, no brakes. It's just not stopping. Please stop. That's I believe the wise man J. Clarkson once said. Some of my favourites are open TTD place names I've seen. I nearly mispronounced that one. Chuntborough and Munthill-on-Sea. 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 Also, apparently, there's an ad break incoming. I will let this play out because hopefully it will play out before we get to the next station, so you shouldn't miss anything too important. Unless you've already subbed with your Bezos Prime or just regular Prime sub. Or regular sub. In which case, you can feel free to happily flip off the ads when they show. Because you're not going to get them. And I will fiddle around with those settings. Right, 1.2 miles away. Smithers. Right, so it says the ad break is starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then it just disappears. Is the ad break actually happening or what? I don't know. Either way, that first name that you said there, Ellie, nearly got me in trouble there. That was close. Right, we're not stopping here, which is good because we're going far too fast if we were. Morning. Now, is that Smethwick Rolfe Street? It is! There's 2 Smethwicks. I tell you, but for some reason I never see ads on this account. Huh. Is it AJ Maker's Codify page? I don't have turbo. Driven 3.5 miles in a 350. Nice. I've done that. I've also slowed down, if anything, way too early, which is very unlike me. In fact, it only took me a few months ago when I was... See, it's real. You just said it. One disadvantage of having quite an old desk chair, it kind of sags a bit over time. I slowly get shorter over time. Right. But yeah, it was only a few months ago when I was playing this game, I saw a tooltip come up where it was like, by the way, as a rule, you kind of want to be going no faster than 30 miles an hour when you enter a station. And I was like, oh, that's what I should have been doing all this time. Rather than, flying in at 50 miles an hour. And then be like, oh no, I've missed my stop. How's that happened? On. I'm a pro. I'm a pro. Look at that. Spot on.
Welcome aboard this London Northwestern Rail
Crewe calling at Wolverhampton, Stafford, Stone, Stoke-on-Trent, Kidsgrove, Alsager, and Crewe. The train at platform 3 is the 11th service to Crewe, Stone, Stoke-on-Trent, Kidsgrove, Alsager, and
Okay, that's interesting.
will passengers intending to travel on this service, please join the train now, as it is ready to leave. Platform 3 for the
Well, you better join now because,
Northwestern Railway.
well, it's too late now because I've shut the doors. So, too late if you wanted to go on this train. Right. So we successfully left Birmingham, and now we've successfully left Smethwick Galton Bridge. Now we're off to Wolverhampton,
Welcome aboard.
the location of my dad's football club. Even though he's born and bred in South London, he supports Wolverhampton Wanderers for some reason. Work out where I'm meant to be in relation to the car stop markers. Should I be in line with it? Should the front of my train be in line with it? Should I be able to see it? I'm glad you said that. Someone who actually works in the on the trains themselves. I thought it was just me being a pleb who didn't know better. I'm like, what? Help. I just sort of go along the lines of, as long as my whole train is on the platform, like I've not left half the train hanging off the end of the platform, people try to go out the doors and they go, just plummet off onto the tracks.
Or text the British Transport Police on
61016.
We'll sort it.
See it, say it, sorted. That's the important bit, I suppose, yeah. Alright, now we've got just under 8 miles to go to get to Wolves. Let's crack on, shall we? Some more canal action. If only the BTP actually did anything useful. Well, we're going to be driving a train with their livery on in a bit. Well, we can. We have the option to. We are belting along, though. What we'll probably do is we'll do this run and then see if we can do one of the rail tour runs from Crewe the other way. Back the other way. Oh, now we're speeding. Now we're speeding and doing 75 miles an hour, so... Not sure what station this is. And we're going a bit too fast to tell what it is. I do actually have the route map somewhere. Hang on. See if I can bring the route map up on my phone. Oh, not want to slow down. Going to be doing 60 in a minute. In brake off. Hang on, it was in the email, wasn't it? Very professional. Checking your email. Checking your emails while you're driving a train at 60 miles an hour. Obviously. When I play these games, it's very much not... Do not take my way of doing things... I mean, you shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't. Birmingham to Crewe. Right, there we go. Excuse me. Oh, what's that? We can go back up to 75. Oh, we should be able to in a minute. Yes, we can. Wait, I thought this was an RSSB instructions. No. No, God, no, it isn't. Please, no. Right, here we go. Got the route map here. So, we've got... We left Birmingham New Street. Past Soho Depot. Smethwick Rolfe Street. Stopped at Galton Bridge. That, I think, was Sandwell and Dudley. Sorry, I can't say Dudley. You just have to say Dudley in a like an over-exaggerated Brummy accent. Sandwell and Dudley. I mean, that's such a bad Brummy accent that any actual Brummy would like punch me, and probably be justified in doing so. I do genuinely love the Brummy accent though. It is fantastic. I remember I was many years ago now. I was dating a girl who was was at university with Anne Brummy. Her best friend was a Brummy. And one night she was like, oh, you seem to do you fancy my best mate or what? You seem to find her really funny. I'm like, no, honestly, it's her accent. It's amazing. Right, so next up will be Dudley Port. And then, or that might have been what we just went through actually. And then Tipton. Then we've got Cosley. For the Wolverhampton Steel Terminal and Wolverhampton Station itself. So we're just 5 miles away from that. So I think this one might be... Would that be Dudley Port, maybe? Oh, we've got another train. You know what we do here. We honk at the other train. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I think this might be Dudley Port Station, maybe. Tipton, maybe? Hard to tell. Again, we're going so fast. Oh. Another slow to 60 miles an hour. Keeping us on our toes. That's good. Because it's not like it's easy to distract me or anything. Oh, wait. Funnily enough, this feels quite accurate for most journeys for me up to Birmingham and like Crewe up that way often involve an LNWR or West Midlands Railway train like this rather than a Pendolino because it is way cheaper. Like massively cheaper. I mean, it's a little bit slower, well, sometimes quite a bit slower, but it's way cheaper. So most of the time when I travel, especially up to Crewe or via Crewe onwards to like Liverpool or Manchester or whatever, I do it via this because, yeah, way cheaper. And it's fairly decent, to be honest. It's not bad. Oh, back up to 75. And we still got 3.5 miles to Wolves. Now, what stop would this be? Would this be Tipton or Cosley, maybe? Yeah, I think that was Cosley. I think I just caught a split 0.1 second blur of Cosley there. So, well, I hope that's how it's pronounced. I have a history of being dragged in my videos for pronouncing place names wrong, and I'm like, it's British place names. They don't make any sense. Even the locals don't know how you pronounce them. I mean, I'm dreading when I finally start doing videos up in Wales. Oh my god, that's just that's a minefield with like attack dogs in it. That's a minefield with attack dogs with mines on them. Right, so we've still got 2.5 miles. This is also novel in and itself. I don't normally like streaming with headphones on, and I will get a proper pair of headphones again. I have an old pair that I used to use, but the ear cushions, ear pads were just like worn away. Like I took them off my ears and like half the plastic on them, or half the like, I don't know, covering on. Oh, getting anywhere in Wales by train is a bit of a nightmare anyway. You might end up only needing say 2 or 3 place names. True. You definitely don't. It's definitely not the fast way to get around Wales, but it is often the very pretty way. Oh. Train passed us by. Oh my word, we are starting to lag a bit here. So I did mention that I'm going to be looking to upgrade North Wales Coast, my beloved. I need to go up there. I need to go around a lot of Wales. Even recently, I went up to travel to visit my best friend and his fiance up in Carmarthen. And that was an amazing journey. I mean, I'd been as far as Cardiff before, which is like barely into Wales. And now I was going not only like up via like Swansea and Newport and Neath and all those places. And then as soon as I think we got west of Swansea, the entire train emptied out. And then it was like, yeah, no, now you're really in the... You're in the deepest, darkest Wales now, and yeah, it was once of spectacular views. And I can't wait to do the Heart of Wales line and places like that, and then do all the narrow gauge stuff like the Talaclyn, the Festiniog. It's even better now they've expunged the Voyagers. Anywhere that doesn't have Voyagers on it is better. It is ironic though that the deluxe edition train for the Riviera line with Train Sim World 6 is a Voyager. And I'm like, I don't like them, but it's also good that they're in the game. Because I can drive one in the game, but as long as I don't have to ride one IRL, I'm fine. I'm like that with the Pacer, really. Although I kind of came around on the Pacer, even. Because the Pacer, very much, I was like, it can't help. It was built on the cheap. And it's just trying to do its best. Pacers have their charm. They do. They do.
We are now approaching Wolverhampton.
We are. Now, what might be quite interesting here... Oh, we've got to slow down a bit more. I spent 5 years living within spitting distance of the Snowdon Mountain Railway and the Llanberis Lake Railway and somehow never managed to actually visit either. Isn't that the way? Is that not the way? I remember recently I went to catch up with my old university flatmate in Greenwich, which is where we went to university. And it's when we were there, she went, oh, have you heard about this junk shop around the corner? I went, no. Somehow neither of us had ever visited there, despite, I mean, she'd lived up there for like 3-4 years during university. And it was amazing. It was like this treasure trove of all sorts of stuff. It was just the ultimate stuff shop. There was taxidermy models. There was random China ornaments. There was a broken toy tube train. There was football programs. There was old cricket programs. There was Wimbledon programs from the 1970s. There was furniture. There was rotary telephones. There was computers. There was literally everything. Everything in the world was in this shop in some capacity, covered in a thin, quite thick layer of dust. But no, it was amazing. Sort of place I could have happily stayed in all day. And you sort of discovered new, like, nooks and crannies and pathways. It was sort of the sort of place you'd go to in an RPG, and the owner of the place would be like, oh, the potion you're looking for is over there, but I can't remember where it is. Can you go down to the basement and find it? And you sort of have to go on a quest to find this thing hidden in all the stuff. And meantime, welcome to Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton.
Hello.
Welcome aboard this London North Western Railway service to Crewe. The next
So, yes, this is Wolverhampton. Now, we're not on a good platform. We need to be on one of the, I'm supposed to be the up platform, really. We need to be one on the platforms over there, because somewhere over that side of the station, and beyond it, there used to be another Wolverhampton station, a Wolverhampton low level, that was actually originally built by the Great Western Railway. And that was closed in the 80s and is abandoned now. I believe there's parts of the old platform canopy and some of the buildings are still down there somewhere, just in amongst like a housing estate or something. So it's a bit like when I went to Barnstaple and I found one of the main Barnstaple town station that's long abandoned. The old signal building and part of the old station building is now part of a school, and it's all just, but it's just still there, you know. So close that door. I've got like a minute or so still. I'm actually on time. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? If you're new around here, by the way, if you've never been in one of these streams before, punctuality, not one of my strengths as a train driver. Generally. But then again, I am streaming and nattering, so that happens. And I often go into, like, history nerd mode. So I'm like, oh, look over there. Look at the abandoned siding over there. And everyone on the train's like, will you just shut up and drive? Will you make, like, the Rihanna song, Shut Up and Drive? Yeah, but there's a really interesting thing over there. I don't care. Never mind. If you're the only passengers on my train, then I'm sure you had to expect that when you boarded a train driven by me. I do want to get one day. Is that a Naked Gun Leslie Nielsen emote there? I see, Chris. That's fantastic. Any mention of the Naked Gun is gonna... You're right in my good books right there. The original Naked Gun. I haven't seen the new one. I'm not sure if I want to. I've heard it's good. But I just love the originals too much, so... Of course it is, yes. Absolutely. Lock the doors. Can do that. I want to see the new one. I've heard... Yeah, so have I. I've heard it's good. It's just... I love the original too much. So... Maybe... Right. No, not... Right. Can I still put the power on, or... Has that done a thing? Nope, I think we're still alright. Yes, we're good. I have to get, I also have this. Oh my god, wow. Bloody hell, this thing doesn't hang around. Wow! I put, like, the throttle to the power lever to 2. The notch 2. Looks over at chat, look back, we were speeding already. Right, so now we've got 15 miles up to Stafford. Quite an interesting run because you get a lot of stations in Birmingham itself, kind of one after the other, and then it sort of spreads out a lot. So suddenly we've gone from like 3 miles from Birmingham to Smethwick, then about 7 miles Smethwick to Wolverhampton, and now we've got 15 miles to Stafford. So it kind of spreads out a bit more, you know? Right, and now we can do 55, so let's go. Damn work making me do work. I know, right? So blooming annoying. Where are we going here? I assume we're going right. Yes, there we go. After I had a whole morning of no work because AWS was down and our ticketing system is on there. Well, as in, random bit of useless information on the Formula 1 broadcast powered by AWS. As in that. I also thought you meant AWS as in the, like, train warning system. Or like, I swear that's the thing in train safety systems as well. Ellie will probably be able to advise on that. Posted a lot to the internet, then it broke. Ah! Would that be why so much stuff was offline earlier? I know Reddit was throwing a fit earlier. I tried to go on Reddit and it was like, no, sod off. US East 1 apparently did a thing where it topped working? What does that mean? I assume it doesn't mean a good thing. Stopped, right, okay. It topped working. Yeah, we're number 1 at working, except we're not oh. I also like the fact that they've even on the, what would you call it? The, vestibule sort of connector, on the front of the train, look. There's even some, like, scuffing on the rubber seals. That's quite nicely done. It's like how, the funny irony in, model railways, where you buy a model locomotive for hundreds of pounds, which has fantastic, incredible close-up detail, and it's shiny and modern and lovely. And then your first thing to do is to make it look filthy, basically. Is to weather it to make it look like crap. Effectively. But it's a realism thing, because let's be honest, when is any vehicle, especially a working vehicle, ever entirely shiny clean outside of about 3 minutes after you've got out of the car wash with it? So... Was that the same AWS, by the way, that earlier... Or was that... No, that was CrowdStrike. I'm thinking of something else. Alright. Oh, now we're going 90 miles an hour. Well, now we'll be about to do 110. And what's that? Max speed 110. Well, let's do it, shall we? Let's take this baby up to top speed. When we're allowed to, obviously. Aha! Now we are. Okay, we're already at max throttle, so... Okay. And we've got green signals all the way. We love to see it. Now, I did point this out earlier in our first aborted attempt to try and run this service. A new feature... Several new features for Train Sim World 6. One of them on-train and on-station platform announcements, which you've heard. Another are some, like, random faults and errors. So you can get train faults, although I've turned them off. You can get random temporary speed restrictions and, like, things that can happen, like, you know, as you have on the real railway. Stuff sometimes happens. There's faults that happen with signals or whatever. So random events can happen like that. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But now... Oh, we're belting along now. We are belting along now. This is a bit faster than the 3 miles an hour we were doing in the depot in the tutorial. A bit faster, I'd say. I'm trying to do the maths on exactly how many more times faster that is. 110 miles an hour is versus 3. 30... 35... 37 times faster. I've never been one for train sims, but Derail Valley was very enjoyable, and now Spotted TS6 has a free option. Maybe it's my age making me want slower-paced game. It's a very, you know, I mean, I know Yahtzee Crowshaw has talked about the dad game and the post-dad game, but, I mean, this is lovely. I mean, I don't know if it's a neurospicy thing or whatever it is, I can get ragey with games. Like... I had to step back from sim racing for the last week or so because in daily races or whatever, like I had a race going where I was running third and then I crashed out with 5 minutes to go and I was raging. I didn't like it. I was like, nah, this is not this ain't good. You're supposed to be doing this for fun. Like, why are you playing video games if they're just making you just get all like this? Like, if they're just winding you up like that. And I've realized multiple times, I'm like, well, one, like, I have to be wary of my, like, spoons level, because if I'm tired or a bit stressed or overwhelmed anyway, playing a very stressful, intense game, like, I've stopped playing a lot of shooters now. I will sometimes still play first-person shooters, because I like them, but also they can get very intense very quickly and very overwhelming and very stressful. Which, if I'm already feeling that way already, that's just going to trigger the, you know, the response. That's a technical term. So, one thing I've always done is, a safe game for me is Train Sim World, because I don't think it's possible for me to go full rage quit on a train simulator game. I don't think that's possible. I played a lot of Battlefield 6 in the last... Yeah, there you go. I was never into the modern military shooters anyway, but, you know, I love games like the Doom 2016 and stuff like that, and Satisfactory is that game. But that's the factory management game, isn't it? The factory building game. Ooh, excellent. Well, that's good. Sorry, I just got a thing from eBay. Being like, something you won an auction. You won an auction, and now it's being sent to you. Excellent. Well, the thing you won in the auction. The whole auction itself is being sent to you. Oh. My safe game is Stardew Valley, although I make it stressful for myself. How do you make Stardew Valley... How do you make Stardew Valley stressful? Although, no, I'd imagine Stardew Valley with... What's he called? Tom Nook? I've never played Stardew Valley, but I've seen plenty of people who have. I know Tom Nook, Mr. Capitalist himself. He runs his little empire with an iron fist. I know that. It's actually a realistic simulation of renting in London. I actually slowed down a bit briefly back there. I think the rotter. That's the sort of word, you rotter. Like, you can only respond to that by shaking your fist. Alright, we've still got just under 4.5 miles to Stafford. My current build is to make 170,000 megawatts of power. That's a lot. I think that would be enough to power, say, my kettle, maybe? And my computer. Ooh, we have a new follower. Another new follower. It's Joey Jam 76. Welcome in. Thank you for following. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hopping on board. Might be a bit tricky given we're going 110 miles an hour right now, but I'm glad you made it on board. But yes, so it's Satisfactory, like, you just build and run your factory. See, it's funny, I've wanted to investigate, like, train building and train management games, but even then they seem quite stressful in terms of, like, you have to build routes that profit and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, I just want to doodle stuff. It's like I really liked, one of my favorite train building games was Tracks, which is, it's a wooden toy train simulator. You literally just build wooden toy tracks on an actual living room floor, and it's the cutest thing ever. And it's so lovely. Like, it just takes me back to being 3 years old and having a wooden toy train set of my own. Oh, you have to start slowing down. Oh, bloody hell. Not that much. 695, there we go. So we're now only 2 miles away from Stafford. Satisfactory puts you in the game and says, go on then. There's no time pressures. You figure out your own. Ah, okay. That sounds appealing then. That sounds quite appealing. Because I always get this thing as well with a lot of management games, or a lot of games in general, really. It's one thing, I've always wanted to play something like Kerbal Space Program, but I'd have no idea where to start. And I get paralyzed with, well, I get decision paralysis, like decision fatigue anyway, in everyday life. Not just in games. But I also get a thing of like, is this the right way to do it? Should I be doing it like this, or like that? So a game that just lets you go, figure it out for yourself, or we'll tell you how to do it, or if you want to just play around and find out for yourself, you do that. Rather than, do this thing, now. There is only one right way, we're not going to tell you. Okay. Help. And if you can't do maths, like me, that's a mood. There's plenty of online calculators you can use to get all the ratios of input. Oh, that's a relief as well. Yeah, we're still doing 60 miles an hour, and Stafford Station is there. I think we should start slowing down a bit more. Yeah, a bit more than that. What was it I was saying earlier about doing 30 miles an hour by the time you're entering the station?
Please mind the gap when leaving
And we should be, actually. Oh, we're already doing 30 now.
before removing
Relax.
luggage and pushchairs. Whilst at the station,
It's almost like I'm used to driving trains that are that have a lot worse braking than this.
And crew. Platform 5 for the 11.
Okay, that seems to be a bit weird. I don't know if it's a bug in this serve route, but it seems like the platform announcements are playing from the train rather than the platform. Which is why I got confused when we were at, I think it was Smethwick, Galton Bridge. Stafford, oh, still doing 30. Now we need to be slowing down more. I always think it's a little bit stressful when you've got a red signal right after, like right at the end of the platform you're stopping at. You're like, you cannot, do not overshoot at all. Oh, no danger of that though. I'm on my A game today apparently.
11.
London
56.
Northwestern
London
Railway
Northwestern
Service
Railway
to
Service to
The next
Crewe.
stop will be
Calling at
Stoke.
And Crewe.
Okay. Okay. No, that's it. That one seems to be. That seems to be making more sense. That seems to be playing from. Yeah, those are tannoys, the speakers. Huh? I thought that was my train for a second. Okay, that's that one over there. How is there another ad break? I thought we just had one like. Feels like 5 minutes ago. No, sod off. Right. Oh. Okay, we were just going to Stafford. Okay. That's strange. We could have gone to Crewe. This was a service to Crewe. Yeah, okay. Right, well, do you know what? Let's have a little wander round. Let's just have a look around Stafford. Stafford, home of Staffordshire University. I love how the cloud infrastructure guy says he can't. Let's have a wander around. Now, on every route on Trains in World, there is often a... Excellent. Lift works, that's very good. Probably a good thing that smell-o-vision isn't a thing. Aha! You. A robot has been repaired. Be honest, I don't fancy its chances if we enter that on Robot Wars. Be honest. I think that's our train leaving. Poster is placed. Support local. Shop locally. It's time to give something back to your local community. I agree. Also, screw Temu. Is what the advert seems to be saying as well. Yeah, there's always collectibles in every route, so I don't know what they are on this route. Either there's nothing in those roof panels, or there's a leak. Okay, it seems like there was just a... Now, this is far more accurate weather. This is more accurate to the weather outside today. I, the programmer, get the computer to do the maths for me. And apparently an ad break's happening anyway. So... Messages. Some messages are best left unread. New series, streaming now on DGTV. On DGT ad board. Or is it, no, that's more DT GAD board. Okay. A DT GAD board. Get one for your station. Right, so I think we should go in from the wet. Go into the dry. I can calculate subnets, but normal numbers confuse me. I can't even do that. I can't even do that. So, what I think we're going to do is I'm going to brew a fresh cup of tea, if that's all right with you. And then we'll do a run from Crewe, hopefully down to Birmingham, on the rail tour, shall we? Let's have a look. What's on offer for the rail tour service? So there's the 86 there. Special ECS moving from Crewe to Wolves. special rail tour from Birmingham to Crewe. Right, okay. So that's there. From Stafford to Crewe. From Crewe to Birmingham New Street. Special rail service from Crewe to Birmingham New Street. Okay. That seems to make sense. Carlisle to London Euston. Ah! That's the rail tour that I was talking about earlier, that I caught at Euston earlier. I assume Birmingham New Street. I assume that's a similar thing. But, oh, you got all the full liveries here as well. That's neat. That's neat. So, I think we want weathered light engine. I think that one, yes. Oh no, not Stafford to Crewe. We want Crewe to Birmingham New Street. Okay. So, yeah, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it there when we get into the game. And then I'm just going to pop away, make a fresh cup of tea. And then we'll be back for, hopefully, a nice long blast on vintage traction from Crewe to Birmingham. Crewe back to Birmingham to go full circle on the loop. Sound good to you? Okay, operate special rail tour. And we're going to pause that there. And then go over here. And we're just going to go here for a moment. So, see you all in a minute. Or in 2 shakes of a gnat's tail, or whatever that saying goes. Hello. Me again. Would be a little strange if it was someone else, let's be honest. Also, shush. Right. I don't trust. I don't cross. Right. Load passengers. Wait till 11:37. Oh, look at that. Got our old. Oh, I love the weathered look as well. Look at that. The faded paint on the front. That looks great. Aha! There is a loco on the other end. There's two 87s. That's neat. Okay. We're top and tailing. So, meantime. Now, you know what I was saying earlier about startup procedures? Let's do that. That's what's caught me out before with the Class 87s. I believe these were built in, I want to say the 1970s? Early 70s, maybe? Like I say, the 86 was the earliest one. It was one of the very first. This came a little bit later. And this one is 87010 King Arthur. The other one is 87005 City of London. That's appropriate. So, while we're in here, let's get this cab set up. Hell, very different to the 350 unit we've just been driving. Pop the cab light on, because just in case we do come up to any tunnels. Probably will. Horn works, that's very important. Now, master suite key switch on. Master switch. Forward. What was that I was saying about how electric locos aren't silent? And also, yes, there you go. We were talking football earlier. That's realistic. I've stood on this platform in that position before. I believe this was the same platform that I got the rail tour from. We're literally going to be departing from that platform. I don't know if this is the designated rail tour platform, but yeah. So, this is where I got the rail tour to the Greatest Gathering, TM. From Crewe down to Derby. Derby Church Lane Works. Okay, wait till 11:37. Stop at location. Wolverhampton 4. Now, that was interesting. For a moment there, that was still red. So that's caught me out before. The game's gone, oh, proceed to your next stop. Okay. Oh, no, you just passed the signal at Dayton. The game's told you to go and proceed to the next location, except the signal hasn't, you've not been given the road yet. Derby, what's that? I know, right? Or is it Derby? I don't know. Anyway, master switch forward. And this definitely has separate brakes. Oh, train brakes off. Open the window. So we've got a bit more natural sound coming in. So, now if I remember rightly, the power gauge for this is kind of funky. So you've got run down, notch down, hold, and then notch up. There you go. You see, look at that. Now, as long as those white marks are in the green bit, then you're fine. And we are moving. Oh. Headlight on. Apparently the headlight's on. And run up. That should start going up. And as long as that stays in the yellow, it goes into the red, you've got you're very likely to blow the traction motors. You don't want that. Very sort of old and manual. I mostly fight against them for a living. Okay, now. We're moving. We are moving. Crewe station, pretty quiet, I must say. Actually, this is what, 11:38? Was that not around the time that we left Birmingham on our Class 350 service? Are we going to go past our own service here? Right. So, snaking across the tracks. Now, over here on the right, that would make total sense, actually. That would make total sense. You know, earlier when I was like, oh, we were leaving the depot, and there was the old rail tour stock there, including an 87 and the intercity coaches and that. Over there, I believe that's in the old depot buildings, is now currently based the company called Locomotive Services Limited, who are a rail tour company, and they have this entire fleet of heritage trains of all kinds, steam, diesel, and electric. I believe it is them that are hoping to bring out of retirement again the what's known as the Class 89 or the Badger, which was a one-off electric loco built in the early 80s as a sort of test bed for new technologies. They built one of them, 240 miles to Glasgow, back that way apparently. We're not going to Glasgow. In fact, we're going this way, and we're now going to be doing it. We're allowed to do it up to 60 miles an hour, so let's crank the power up a bit. Again, you want to be careful. This is all electrical mumbo jumbo. I'm not very good at understanding it. There's a weak field there apparently. Don't know what that is. Right. Well, what I've learned is as long as those don't go into the red, you're okay. Hold. That's sort of the way you operate the throttles in this thing. And yeah, like I said, electric vehicles, silent. Yeah, no one told this. No one told this. But yeah, that would make sense as to why when we did the tutorial and the... Hello, we got a follower from Shake That _desk 17. Shake that desk. I see you, baby. Shaking that desk. That's a great username. Welcome in. As long as you're a real person. If you're a... Are we still doing the thing with bots and everything? Lol. Okay, no, you're real. Hello. Welcome in. How you doing? This is our train. We are driving this Heritage Rail Tour from Crewe to Birmingham. I'm no robot. Good. And we can now go up to 100 miles an hour. But yeah, that would make sense before when... What if I'm not sure if I'm a bot or not? Well, you've at least gained human sentient consciousness, so you're okay. Would that be a bit like, oh, what's, oh my god, I can't remember the name of the actor either. You man from Aliens. Bishop. Lance Hendrickson. Is that, like Lance Hendrickson's character in Aliens? I'm good. I've yet to do a rail tour. Always just ripping commuters. What, as in driving commuter trains in this game or in real life? Right, so now we're up to going up to 60 miles an hour. Let's see if we can crank the throttle up a bit more. Run it up, run it up. In this game, I see, okay. Come on. Come on. Run up. Hold. Yeah, we're doing some serious speed now, and this should be flat out. Well, stop at location Wolverhampton. Okay, so we are stopping there. In 35 miles, so I think we're all right for the moment. But yeah, this was probably my favorite of the new add-ons that have been released in the last, well, for as long as I've not been streaming this game. Was the West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle, because like I said, it was set in the mid to late 80s, and this was the main loco that came with it, so it was all like 80s retro BR stuff, and these locos are very cool to me. I like them. They are electric, but they still have that old school kind of mechanical vibe. Well, because they are old school kind of mechanical vibe to them. Let's see if we can run a bit more throttle up. Come on. Or are we maxing out for the moment? I think we are. So those are, yeah, the traction 1, motor 2, traction 3, motor 4. So those are the traction motors there. Notch indicator driving loco. The one on Blackpool Branch is pretty cool. Yes, they're sort of related, aren't they? Because you can... Is it Preston where you can cross over... If Preston's still in the chat, he's like, what? What am I doing? What am I doing in this game? Don't worry. We are actually approaching 100 miles an hour, so... See if we can get there first. Is the headlight on? Apparently it is. Okay. Now 98 miles an hour, 99. Come on. Get up to 100. 100 miles an hour. That'll do. Right, notch down. Hold. Just hold it there, basically. Yeah, so because Preston is also in the WCML Preston to Carlisle route, I like that you can swap between the two routes at Preston Station. You can go over to a thing and it's like, do you want to swap to this route? Yes. So there's a bit of crossover there as well. And yeah, the Blackpool Branches route is pretty cool. It's also set in the 80s as well, sort of 80s, early 90s as well, isn't it? Yeah, 80s vibe. My favourite. My favourite. Says the person who's repainted his room in Network Southeast blue. Well, close enough anyway. Put a little bit more power on just because we're going uphill slightly. Trying to balance the speed in these locos is quite tricky. Because it's not like where you just set the throttle at 1 notch and you just go, right, just do that. And it just sits at that speed. You can tell this is a loco from the more sort of steam days, where it's a lot more manual. A lot more sort of like you have to balance certain things and certain systems. Which is pretty neat in its own way. You know, obviously you don't, well, trains, especially trains, aren't built that way now. It's that they're built pretty much to be foolproof and basically drive themselves if they wanted to, but feels sort of human in a way. Feels sort of like you're driving a car, you know? Alright, so notch down. We're now dead on 100 again. Out to 101. Just hold it there and then a little bit of brake on. So this would be a good way to suss out what the throttle's doing, because we just put a little bit of brake on to get us under 100. If it goes over 100 again, then it shows we can... Yeah, we're going a little bit... Take a bit of throttle off. I don't like to cut it altogether, because you can. We'll just hold it there. There we go. So now we're down to 100 a bit. We've got a train coming the other way. Now, is this our train from earlier? Hello? Well, it was a 4-car train. I think based on the timings. What is this 100-mile-an-hour nonsense? As a devoted Elizabeth line member, I do not recognise any speeds above 90. 100 is 10 miles an hour faster than 90. Ergo, it's better. It's also interesting as well, like, I was talking about this with my dad recently. Like, the Great Western Main Line was electrified a few years ago, and is still in the process of being electrified. But in their case, the overhead wiring and the catenaries and the masts and things like that, very brutal, like massive girders, thick girders. And it's like, especially out of Paddington now, it's almost like there's a roof over the tracks. Whereas even on the West Coast Main Line, I mean, there's a lot that are just like individual masts or poles. But even this bit, it's still a lot thinner, it seems to me. Like, okay, that's a bit, that's a little bit thicker, I guess. Right, so we're at 97, so close enough. Close enough to 100, really. Oops. So I had a sort of weird Doppler effect there. Right. Has my tea cooled enough for a sip? It's time to find out. Oh, yeah. That's perfect. That is perfect. In fact, on that point, almost like my parents know me rather well, because last Christmas they got me this, which I need to set up now that I've got my desk set up. It's a heated coaster. It is a heated coaster, because it's almost like, you know, I'm quite good at making a hot drink and then leaving about it and forgetting about it for hours, by which point it's very much not a hot drink anymore. Another 350 coming the other way. Now that can't have been our train because that's the wrong livery. If anyone's just joined us, by the way, our train, the first service that we ran on this route was Birmingham to Stafford. And oh yeah, I've just realised it can't be because we only went to Stafford. I don't think we've been through Stafford yet on this run. So yeah, we ran Birmingham to Stafford in a class 350/1, and the departure from Birmingham was around 11:38, which was around the exact same time that this service has departed Crewe. So I was joking about, like, are we going to cross? Are we going to go past our service going northbound on this route? We're going to pass our own train. Sometimes some wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff might happen here. In my head, anyway. A lot of wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff happens to occur in my head. All right, run down. I think the throttle's pretty much off now. We are going slightly downhill as well, so I'd say about 50% of the cups of tea I drink have gone cold. While I think of it as well, in the sort of feedback, tell me how it's going, because I've not done this in a while and I have no idea what I'm doing. I've completely forgotten what I'm doing. Like I said, I don't show chat on this main screen anymore. Are you guys okay with that? Do you like that? Is that all right? I've noticed that a lot of streamers I follow now, their overlays are a lot cleaner. There's a lot less going on. Like, even having this border around the face cam might not be a thing that I do so much anymore. And I don't have a full overlay for, like, the face, the just chatting screen or things like that. And a lot of them don't show chat on the main screen because they don't want to clutter up, you know, or get stuff, put it in the way. Bloody streamers. I know, right? I know, right? I can't remember how you're set up, by the way, Chris, so don't think I'm shading you. I'm not shading anyone in particular. It's just something I've noticed, and I just fancied having a bit of a cleaner setup. In fact, if I remember rightly, yours is like multicam and everything. There's like pedal cam and wheel cam. And, oh yeah, you've got 2 complete setups. When one setup isn't enough, you've got to have 2. 2 complete setups. That's amazing. That is amazing. I mean, your rigs plural, are a work of art, quite frankly. They're a work of engineering art. They're a masterpiece of engineering. By the way, while I have this mug, congratulations on the England women. Rugby World Cup champions. World champions. That's world champions. Loved watching that tournament. That was great. I've been a rugby fan almost my whole life. And the Women's Rugby World Cup was like... It was like sort of a reminder that it's like, oh yeah, I got into rugby because it's fun. And this is fun, you know? Normal monitor on desk, literally only overlays my tiny camera in the top corner. Sim rig is ultra wide, so I have... that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I remember I've watched a stream of yours on the rig before, on the sim rig. And I noticed you had separate cameras at the bottom of that, so but yeah, if you're running an ultra wide, you're going to have space top and bottom anyway, so that makes sense. Also, should we give it a little bit of power? We're slipping down to Elizabeth line speed, and we can't be doing that. I mean, Elizabeth line speeds would be fine if we're on the Elizabeth line. But we're not. No. There we go. But we're not. So, let's crank up the power a bit. And also make sure the brakes are fully released. The air brakes. Superior railway speeds, I think. Chat, can you tell that Ellie works for the Elizabeth line? There's just... She may have dropped a few hints here and there. It's up to you how you have it, though. You feel it needs to change, give it a change. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where, again, this is like going back to what I was saying before. Here we go. Now we're back up to 100 miles an hour. Oops. Well, okay. I've turned the power completely off. We are now coasting. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, the thing is, when I was saying earlier about how I can't keep waiting for the perfect time to come back and wait till everything's set up right and how I want it, to a degree, you only figure out what needs improving or what you want to change up by doing it. So, I've been wondering about this microphone, whether I like it, whether it needs to be a different kind or whatever. Well, streaming is probably the best way I can do to work out whether I like it or not. Because I can then... There's another ad break. Right, no there isn't. We're not doing this. Shut up. Oh, I just realised I pressed dismiss rather than snooze. Oh, I'm thick. I'm very silly. But yes, I'll definitely be tweaking the advert settings, because bollocks to those. But yeah, actually doing the things is how you work out whether you want to change things up to begin with. You know? So, it's like changing the setup on a race car. You don't just look at it and go, maybe I want to change that up or change that up. And I'm not going out on the track until the setup is perfect. No, you go out on the track and you drive around and you go, I'd like to change this. Or maybe this is fine, but I'd like to tweak this setting. So, you know, Consider game HUD and where your cam overlay fits. Exactly. That's the tricky thing. My face cam is normally here because that seems to be in the least... Oh, hello. Okay, it's red signal. We've got some yellow signals coming up, so... And we've also got an 80 mile an hour. And we've got an ad break, so that can sort off. So, let's play some dial tone music. Play some hold music. But yeah, this... Putting the camera here is normally... Like, that's okay for me in terms of... Like, it doesn't get in the way of a lot of game HUDs and things like that. Especially racing games. Because sometimes you'll have, like, leaderboards top left or bottom right, speedometers and stuff like that in the corners. Ad break ended. Your community is back. Good. After you took them hostage for 30 seconds. Oh my god. No, what am I doing? What am I doing? Oh. Blooming. Oh, arse. I've done a bad thing. Help. Okay. Right. Brake is off. We're still slowing? I assume we are. I hit the wrong button and I put it on emergency brake. Because I'm very smart like that. Right, yeah, we're going to come to a full stop, aren't we? Are we? Oh no, hang on. Oh no, the brake's coming off. Okay, okay. Right. Given I was trying to slow down a bit for the upcoming 80 mile an hour and then the 60, now we can speed up to those speeds. Mic sounds great though, I'd say keep it good. Okay, well I'll listen back to it. I'll see. Like I say, it's mostly just the echo. I want to make sure it's not too echo. Almost worked out, yeah, almost. Almost meant to do that. But yeah, I'll listen back to it and see how I like it as well. But it's much better than, like, how else am I going to work out whether I like it or not, without actually streaming it and seeing how it sounds, you know? Or using it for things. So, yeah, I'll have a listen back and see how it goes. Or whether it's just a case of tweaking some settings and stuff, you know? Because like I say, I still have my mixer, my XLR mixer interface, and a XLR headset mic. But I don't know. If I don't have to have XLR and the extra level of faff that's involved with it, then I don't have to. Like, this is just USB and that's fine. Like I say, plug and play, go. Path of least resistance. Just do the thing. And especially where... Ah, here we go. This is Stafford. And we're now coming into the 60 mile an hour bit, so we can turn the power off. And we are just coasting along, doing our thing. So that actually worked out okay in the end. I've just noticed as well, the fog has descended. The mist has descended. And I like it. Very atmospheric. 60, much more sensible speed. I know, right? Yeah, look at this fog. Oh, that's really atmospheric. I like that. I like that. I spend so much time playing Train Sim World. Like, I have to factor in a good extra 10 or 20 minutes to any route time in Train Sim World. Because I will spend 10 to 20 minutes longer than expected just in the photo mode. Like, actually, speaking of photo mode right here. Like, hey, that's the limit in the central section. Therefore, it's ideal. Something like that. Right. Nice, look at that. Through the bushes. That's good. Setting I like to have. Focal point. That's not changed at all. Go to view, motion blur. A bit, yeah. Some. Then here, I like to set certain things. That sort of 80s Kodachrome, overexposed, Super 8 vibe. Duration up a little bit. Vignette. No. Well, a little bit, I guess. Brightness, we could take that down a little bit, actually. And there we go. Am I happy with the shot? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And while we're here, we're also going to go over here. And we're also going to say hello to Angry Scootsman, who's here. Hello. One of many, many people who I've seen today who I've not seen in a very long time. You know, because of the whole not streaming thing. Oops. But yeah, how you doing, bud? Lovely to see you in here again. Right. Field of view. Zoom it more in. Ah, there you go. That's better. Put it about there. And yes. There we go. Lovely. That'll do. Right, anyway. Let's get back to actually driving, shall we? Like I said, the amount of time I spend in photo mode in this game is wild. But, you know. I grew up on Gran Turismo 4. There'll probably be a while again. Work has entered hell season. Oh, no. What is work, by the way? You don't mind me asking? Right. Now we can go back up to 90, so... crank up them traction motors again. Come on. Come on. Ow. More. More. Like Kylo Ren in that clip, in that Star Wars clip. More. More. Again, not too much. And stop there. Logistics. Okay, okay. Yeah, I can imagine that's a busy time of year for logistical things. Wolverhampton's coming up in 13 miles as well, so... Oh, I love that. Look at the reflections on the windscreens. The grime and the markings where the wipers have been. That's neat. I like little touches like that. I think that's really cool. That's the stuff that simulators can do really well. I move boxes. I just shuffle boxes around, really. 85, 86, okay. Run it down, run it down, run it down, run it down. Hold it there. We're at 88 miles an hour, which is ironic, given that we're given that we're driving a train from back in time, as it were. 89 miles an hour, as it were. And we're going to hit the full 90. There we are. Speaking of cool old electric locos, the Class 90 is being introduced to Train Sim World soon, I believe, which would be really cool. They are... Well, they worked on, I think, the East and West Coast main lines. Quite a bit. I'll just turn the power off altogether. It's simpler that way. And they also ran quite a few years, replacing Class 86s, funnily enough, on the Great Eastern Main Line, London, Liverpool Street to Norwich. And for many years, when I used to travel up to see my best friend in Norwich, and I go to Norfolk quite a lot anyway, I like it up there. We go on family holidays and stuff up there. So that was Norfolk my train, a Class 90 with Mark 3s like this, and a what's called a DVT, driving vehicle trailer at the back, which is like a train but with no engine of its own. So you can drive from that end, but it gets all the power from the loco at the other end of the train, if that makes sense. And so yeah, seeing the Class 90s would be nice to... That'd be a warm wave of nostalgia for me. It'd be lovely. Because I think they're still around now. They're mostly on freight turns. I think Freightliner use them. They're not on any... I don't think they're on any passenger runs anymore. Again, outside of rail tours. Oh, wow, look at this. Wow. Church bell going off. Well, we have just hit midday. What station is this, do we think? It's Tipton? Dudley, maybe? Going way too fast to tell. But I'm wary of putting any more... Actually, I think we can manage a little bit just to get up to 90. But we are now within 10 miles of our stop at Wolverhampton, so I'm wary of that. Power. 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 Also, that notch indicator there suddenly shot up to beyond 100. So, okay, now it's down at 100. Run down, there we go. Okay. And now it's turned off altogether. I just turned it off altogether. But we are back up at almost 90. Oh, hello. Oh, that was, you see that? It was like emerging from the gloom. That was really atmospheric. It's funny, growing up, I hated autumn. Hated this time of year. I still struggle a bit with it because, you know, seasonal affective depression. Seasonal affective? Is that it? SAD, basically. I get the SADs. And especially when I was in school, it was horrible time of year. I was so gloomy around like October, November time. It's horrible. I've never liked Halloween, so that's probably another reason I don't like this time of year. But in recent years, I've become a lot more autumnal / wintry. I like the cold a lot more. Weirdly, I think it has something to do with Taylor Swift's Folklore and Evermore albums. Because they're perfect, like, wintry, autumnal albums. They're great for that. So, given she's definitely not making any more albums like that anytime soon, I am starting to look around for more, like, albums or artists who make stuff that sound like autumnal, wintry core music. Because it's really nice. And now I quite enjoy these sort of months. I used to be massive summer kid. I still like summer. But I wonder if being on antidepressants for quite a few years, which don't react well with the heat, which I wasn't told about until... Well, I didn't find this out until I'd been on antidepressants for 3 years, and I realised why I was such an absolute zombie and so wiped out in the summer months when it was really hot. Coincidence, huh? But yeah, that was a bit frustrating. But yeah, I still like summer. It's okay, but I'm a lot more... I like autumn, winter months a bit more now. I'm much more sort of in my sort of winter era, as it were, or whatever. Like I said, I'm in my 30s. I'm in my early 30s, not mid-30s. Not yet. Shush. You know what I was saying earlier as well about the masts? See, there's a few individual masts there. They're quite elegant. They're quite non-intrusive. You don't really see them. I don't know if the trade-off is they can be knocked over in a stiff breeze, but... Right, so we've got exactly 5 miles to go to Wolves. Oh, excuse me. Now, do I put a little bit of power on? I think a little bit. No, I think a little bit. Notch indicator, driving loco. Get up to about 60, I think. There we go, 60. Leave it there. Hold. With the amount of overhead wire issues you hear about, stiff breeze is probably about right. Yeah. Although then again, even the Great Western Main Line hasn't been immune to that. I think there was a time a few years ago where one of the IET trains pulled down a load of the wire. I didn't know that's possible. You just go yoink, just drag it all down. Like, no, I'm bored of this. Autumn has always been my favourite season. Yeah, it's weird for me. It had very negative connotations to me growing up, but I sort of like it more now. Like I say, I still don't like Halloween. Of course, we know the best OLE design is the Alstom Cariboni range. No prize for guessing where that's installed. Let me guess. I wonder. Right, we still could be doing 90 miles an hour, but again, given that we're coming up on Wolverhampton soon, it's now nearly just over 3 miles away. And we've still got, we're up to 2 hours 45 on the stream. I wanted to, so back when I was streaming regularly, I like to go to about 3 hours. That's okay for me in terms of spoons. If I go over 3 hours to about 4, I feel it a bit. I can do that, but I feel it a bit, like especially the next day. Excuse me, more than that, and it wipes me out. Like, I cannot be doing that. I don't know how people manage to casually stream for like 5-6 hours plus, like almost every day or whatever. Like, I don't know how you do that. I have no idea. And also, we're just gonna run down the power. Because we're coming up on a 60-mile-an-hour bit here, and we are now under 2.5 miles away from Wolverhampton. I think the power's pretty much completely off now, so... longest I've gone was 12 hours, and I regretted it. Oh, my God. I have streamed for 24 hours odd before, but that was with a nap. I did have a nap in the middle of that, because that was when I did the iRacing Le Mans 24 hours. And I wasn't driving the whole time, so... I can do that very, very rarely. I can do that. But, like, I'm talking, like, if I stream for over 4 hours in a week, I'm not streaming for the rest of the week. I get 4 hours and the brain departs. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm very similar. Right. 1.7 miles. We're at the 60-mile-an-hour speed now. Assume we're going... Yes, I was going to say, given that the speed for the left side of the junction was 20, I'm like, yeah. I have a friend who does 6 hours most days. I find that is very impressive. That is impressive. I know, like, yeah, like I've mentioned Psyche already. She does like streams. She'll stream for like 5-6 hours. Like, I think 4 days in a week. But that's been her like full-time job for a long time, and she's obviously been able to do that. And even then, there's been times where, like, all streamers have space where you just need to go, listen, I'm not feeling it today. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Kept a friend entertained during a desert bus stream. Oh, that's awesome. I meant to start streaming something for ages, but I've never got round to it. It's an easy thing to sort of forget about. I've been meaning to keep streaming. I was consistently streaming for quite a few years, and then I just sort of stopped. Each year I do a week of day streams for 5-6 hours each to celebrate streaming anniversary birthday. I'm exhausted by the end of them. Full respect for those who do that every day. Yeah, totally. Right, so 0.7 miles. We're still doing 40 miles an hour. We should be doing 15 before we even get into the station. So let's rectify that, shall we? A very gentle application. The cups of tea and the beers in the coaches on the rail tour shouldn't even be disturbed by this. It's a rail tour. It's full of old blokes, full of old spotters with beers, probably. With cups of tea and or beers. Source, I've been on those. I am an old man in a slightly less old man's body. I either have a cup of tea and or a beer on a rail tour. Right, through there. There's the 15 marker. 16. Release the brake. 15. There we go. Oh, we're actually going uphill a little bit into the station, so we might have to put a tiny bit of power on. Yeah, I think we're going to put a little power on here. Just the tiniest bit, because we're actually going up 1.3% gradient. Yeah, there we go. Right. Yeah, it's quite a steep climb into the station. Okay. Now, notch down, run down, or off. There we go. So power off. And there we go. Now we're going downhill a little bit in the platforms itself. So I like the fact there's no timings for this. It's like a real rail tour. Real rail tours have timings. Do they stick to them? No. It's like at Heritage Railways. You go to a Heritage Railway gala and they'll have a full timetable. If an hour into the first day of the gala they're still sticking to timetable or still running to time, that's impressive. Which is understandable. You're talking about a lot of very old locos and stock and things like that. There's a lot of, you know, things that can go wrong or not work properly as they're supposed to. Alright. Meantime. There we go. Ah, almost spot on. Oh, we're not picking anyone up. Oh, okay. Now, I wonder if that's just simulating that sometimes on rail tours they'll have set down locations on the way home. On the homeward run or the run out, they'll have pick up or set down locations where they'll only have people let people off. You can't get on there. So, well, in which case we've got a green signal, so brakes off and run up. I didn't even know rail tours had multiple stops. They do sometimes. Here we go. There we go. Oh, just burst into life again. So, you know, I said earlier about that station. Oh, there it is, I think. See that building down there? I think that might be it. That random stationy looking building down there next to some houses. I think that's the old Wolverhampton low-level station down there. That's neat. I like that they've modelled that. That's cool. I'll have to explore that in free roam at some point. Right, meantime, we've given it some beans out of the station. We've given it the beans out of the station. 15 miles an hour. 12 miles to Birmingham New Street. And we'll probably be just over 3 hours, which is a perfect length. It's not all about length, as we know. We will be going back through the Smithwick's. Both of them. Now, at some point it'll be going up to 30. Give it a bit of juice. A little bit of juice. So I assume that there, notch indicator, I assume that's around halfway to notch 1. So that's how you... See, I didn't even know that before. I just sort of went on, like, vibes. I drove this loco on vibes. Which, I don't know if I'd recommend, really. I still only do 15 miles an hour. Now we can go up to 30. Let's run the power up a little bit. Up to 40, maybe? 40, there we go. And then 75, very shortly. Seven. Oops. Ow. Bollocks. I meant to just run the power down. I just turned it off. Same result, I guess. Right, anyway, now we can do 75, so crank it all the way up. Make it up to about 60, shall we? So, what is that? Well, notch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes sense, actually. Maybe 80? Not gonna be too much for the motors. I think we got some wheel slip there. Right? Felt like it sort of hitched for a moment. There we go. Right, put it up to 80. So that's notch 4, basically. Sand! Where's that? I assume there's a sand. There's a, Oh, just the wheel spin thing. I'm playing by NR 2003 season while watching this. Robbie Gordon won the Southern 500 under caution. Bobby Gordon. Big Bobby Gordon winning a NASCAR Cup race that isn't a road course race. What alternate timeline madness is this? My word. I assume you meant sand, by the way. Shake that disc. Shake that disc. Sorry, his name's great. I assume you meant that in terms of the wheel spin or the wheel slip. Excuse me. Alright, notch down a bit. And we're coming up on 75 miles an hour. We've still got a red signal a few up ahead, but seems to be, yeah, it's turning yellow before we get there. So we seem to be alright for the most part. Robbie won at New Hampshire IRL, don't forget. Oh, did he? I am misremembering my NASCAR history. I swear I only remembered him doing it at Watkins Glen once or twice, or once at Sonoma. He definitely won at Watkins Glen one time. I remember that. And he did that by punting my boy. Well, in New Hampshire or Watkins Glen. Or both, knowing Robbie. Knowing Bob O'Gordon. New Hampshire, yeah. Right, so we're... This Sandwell and Dudley. Or... Crosley, maybe? Costley? Costley, not Crosley. What am I on about? Oh, we're coming up on a 60 here, so I'm not putting any more power. I'm sort of letting us coast down to 60 a bit. Yeah, here's more of those, the kind of thinner masts I was telling you about. Ah! Well, that might be our train. It was the wrong livery, but close enough. I think based on timing, that's the closest we're going to get. Okay, we're actually going downhill quite a lot now, so... Got the brakes on quite a bit. 63, 2, 1. There we go. Close enough. Close enough. A bit bouncy. That's fine. That's fine. What are you going to do, officer? Arrest me for doing 63 in a 60? Yes. Oh. We're going back to 75 in a minute anyway. 75, there we go, right. Run up, run up. Going through another station here. Is this one of the Smethwick's? No, I think that's Tipton. I think that's Tipton. Alright, let's take it up to 60. On the power ometer. There's one of those canals we saw. Bobby Labonte and Dale Earnhardt Jr. are tied for the points lead. Blimey. I tell you what, this alternate history is definitely not going to need playoffs introduced, is it? With such an exciting championship run. Not that NASCAR should ever have had playoffs to begin with, in real life. Now that's Dudley Port. Sorry, Dudley Port. Dudley. I just have to say it like that. Yeah. Imagine a WWF show in Birmingham. Coming up next is the Dudley Boys. Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley. Sorry. If there's any Brummies watching, I'm very sorry. Very, very sorry. I do it with love. How Dave Blaney is fifth ahead of Dale Jarrett and Jeff Gordon, I have no idea. This alternate history, man, I'm enjoying it. It sounds fun. I want to be in that timeline. God knows where we'd end up now if we were in that timeline. Alright. Yep. They're down 60 again. There we go. The only NASCAR stadium I've ever been to. Oh wow, what, New Hampshire? Nice. As of January this year, I can say that I've been to Daytona. But ironically, not for a NASCAR race. I went for the Rolex 24 this year, which was amazing. An incredible week. Right. No, do you know what? No, we're not doing this. Shut up. And to snooze for 5 minutes. Sod off. I've been to Michigan and the Chicago race. Oh, wow. Whereabouts are you based then? If you don't mind kind of roughly answering that. Feel free to be as vague as you like with that answer. But I also live a few blocks from the street race, so I don't know. Ah, okay, well, there's the answer. So the Chicago street races. Wow. There's a regular in here in one of our mods, Super Mike. He used to live, well, I don't know if he still does. He lived when they ran the Baltimore. Oh, this is one of the Smethwick's, I think. Afternoon, Smethwick's. Yes, when there was the IndyCar and American Le Mans Series race on the streets of Baltimore, he lived like round the corner from it. Right, let's give it a little bit of power, because coming down to 65, so we're only at 51, so oops. Put it about there, shall we? Yeah, we're getting right into the kind of Birmingham suburbs now. It's fun, especially for the race and lol being able to just walk home. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Cries in, I live in the UK, and that's basically never going to happen. I rarely drive. Oh, nice. For anyone who missed it earlier, this is my Futurama face. I've spilled water everywhere. Mop that up later. Anyway, most importantly, this is Smith at Golden Bridge. I recognise this from the outbound run, but never anything worth racing. Going from driving all the time to looking at my car in disgust is lovely. Nice not having to rely on it. Certainly. Nice to have, but nice not to rely on it. So who do you think will win the second Richmond race? Knowing how nutty your season's been, good question. Good question. I may as well just pick, like, lottery numbers. Who hasn't won yet so far? Who was good at the first Richmond race in the season? The Fiesta could have been race-worthy if I didn't own it. Ah, Ford Fiesta, though. The mighty Fiesta. Now, that's Smethwick Rolfe Street we're passing through. So there's some squealing flange action going on. Pascal needs Larson in the final four, so... Newman won the first one. Ah, okay. Stick me down for Matt Kenseth. Stick me down for Matt Kenseth. And for... Oh, hello. That's my train. That's our train from earlier. It's the same livery. Doesn't work out weather or time-wise, but it doesn't matter. It's close enough. I drove a Miata once. I still want... Oh, my best friend has a Miata. Well, MX-5 as they call here. He has one. They're amazing. They're so good. And honestly, the MX-5 Cup race on Rolex 24 weekend was the best race of they were the best race of the weekend. They were amazing. So good. NA? Yes, I believe so. I think so. Did you mean that in terms of naturally aspirated or normally aspirated or North American? Flippy headlights a lot. Yes. Oh, yeah. No, his one doesn't have the flippy headlights. It's a, I want to say, 2016-17 model. So it's got sort of angry looking headlights. Looks good, though. Looks really good. By the way, we are only 2 miles away from Birmingham-New Street. We are only 2 miles away. NA is the early model. Oh, I see. Yes, of course. Yeah, no, I'm with you now. Yeah, whatever the mid-2010s version or model is, that's the one he's got. I say it's really nice. I had to dislocate my pelvis most of the time to get in it. It's just so low slung, but I did want a Mark 1 or Mark 2 at some point. One of the older ones that you can get sort of cheaply. And yeah, meantime, we've only got a mile and a half till Birmingham New Street. And we've got to be down to 40 miles an hour in a moment. And no, we're not doing this. Just snoozing adverts again. I'm not doing this. It used to be 500... Don't even talk to me about how many bargains you can have in terms of old cars. Like, I looked for a long time at a Toyota Starlet. I still don't have a car of my own. But I was looking very strongly. If I was going to finally buy a car, I was looking that it would be a Toyota Starlet. And they were so dirt cheap. And even then, a few years ago, not long ago, I looked and they were like, still not really expensive. But, yeah. Everything's stupid expensive now. I don't trust cars, not enough wheels. Even fair. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no, now we're in a tunnel. Aha, but I remember to put the cab light on. Yes. I am a genius. I'm not because I'm speeding. No. Slow down, please. Slow down, please. Come on, please. We're going to be doing 10 miles an hour in a minute. There we go. Right, in fact, bring it all the way down. Bring it all the way down. Look at this. The proper old school atmospheric yellowy glow lighting. It's so warm. Rather than the modern sort of bright white xenon headlight lighting. As you can see, emitting from my desk lamp. No, don't stop. No. There we go. Oh, wow, look at this. Look at this for the fog. That warm glow is indeed lovely. It is, isn't it? There we go. So we're still going downhill, so we should be able to coast in. Yep, now the train brake is fully off. Yes, there we go. Now we should just be able to just coast into the station. You please slow. Please. Please. First application of braking is just like, brakes, do you want some? Alright, there we go. Wow, look at... Wow. Oh, there's the road above the station there. No, can we stop? Can we stop slowly speeding up? No. Stop it. Stop it. Stop that. There we go. Now we're on the level, so... Just slowly ease it in. No need for any power here. The red signal right at the end of the platform, right where we're stopping. Just for a bit of pressure. Just for a bit of pressure. There it is, right there, right at the end of the platform, right where we're supposed to stop. So, start braking. You know what? Might be a little bit early. I'm going to come up a little bit early. Maybe. Oh, going to ease it right up to the marker. Right up to the marker, and then... Bosh. You are kidding me. You are kidding me. Game, I'm 2 yards. I'm on the marker. We're going to get spadded now. You watch. You watch. All right. Right. Oops. There we go. 2 yards. 2 yards. Ah, there we go. Lost some points for speeding, but wasn't that much. Accuracy bonus, 318. There you go. 0.498 yards. Because I didn't really have any choice. Right, return to free roam. And, you can do what you want with this service, because I'm done. So, there you go. There's the service. Oh, look at that. That looks great. Now, this would have been an everyday occurrence for the... No. Twitch, we're not doing this. Sod off. Oh, that's nice. Horn. We've got some tones. I mean, the rail fans are awesome. Hell yeah. I'm running to the end of the platform to watch it go. Hang on. Sorry, I work for the railway, I'm fine. Oh, it's been held at a red signal there. So, yeah, but... Nice! Oh, that's great. Well, as we watch our rail tour depart and continue its journey home south, there's a ghost driving the train, I think there is. As our rail tour heads off home, to London Euston, I think that will conclude today's stream. And I don't think it could have gone much better. Honestly, for how nervous I was and how out of practice I've been with all this, today has been blooming lovely. There's been so many people who've shown up here, so many folks from the old days, from the before times, who have come back. There are new folks who have shown up for the first time, which is amazing. So happy to welcome in some new folks. I've also got City of London on the back there. There you go. And they're going to head off down to Euston. And I'm going to head off now. And 3 hours 12 minutes, we'll call that. Spot on. Decent run. So, thank you all so much for hanging out today. I've loved having your company. Genuinely, I've loved having your company. Nice to see you again. The feeling is mutual, Scootsman. Thank you. Thank you. Shake that desk. Chris, work's finished. Time to head off. Nice to catch streaming. Thanks for the entertainment. Thank you so much for joining in, Chris. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see Ellie here as well. Tuz. So many people. Preston's here. Loads of people. It's been lovely. I've really enjoyed coming back today. Like I say, I'm going to listen back and see what sound quality's like from the mic, but it sounds like it's been pretty good. So, yeah, more than happy with that. Hopefully we'll be doing this a lot more regularly. Well, put it this way. A lot more regularly than once every 18 months. So, I think there's one last thing to do. Something else I haven't done in a long time. That would be... Shush, that's me. No. Oh! Colo is streaming. Colo has, I think, just started. So, I told you about Hello, it's Colo, a streamer I've discovered, well, in my time away. She is a fantastic neurospicy disabled streamer. Wonderful, wonderful person. Just the loveliest person. Great. So, yeah, let's go hang out, shall we? We'll do that. Right. I remember how to do this. Yes. Yeah, we're going to do it. Excellent. There we go. That's great. Okay. So, they're not in an ad break and they're not about to leave. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you all very much for hanging out today. I can't thank you all enough. It's been lovely seeing you all here. And, yeah, I'll see you guys very, very soon. We'll get back to doing this regularly. Now that we've got through the nerves of the first one back, I'm ready to do this more regularly again now. So just keep an eye out on the socials and I'll let you know when the next stream is. And like I say, I promise it won't be another 18 months. See you later. Have a lovely rest of your Monday.